17.4% increase to Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I have all the details and what people are now saying right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now just a few weeks ago, we got the announcement out of the Social Security Administration on the annual cost of living adjustment, otherwise known as COLA raise, which they announced 8.7%. Meanwhile, all of us are sitting here with our hands in the air saying, you've got to be kidding me. We need significantly more than that, as inflation is very high right now, and the purchasing power of our monthly benefits is depleting literally every single day. We need way more than 8.7%. Well, some people are coming out right now suggesting it needs to be 17.4%, and that's exactly what I want to talk about here in the video, because they actually have a very good point, and I want to break it down for you here in the video, so let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate. I'm here for you right by your side every single day to help you out in any way that I possibly can by watching all these new announcements, the updates, the reports, and everything else coming out, hitting the wire, doing all the research and breaking it down into these short videos to help you out and, of course, to keep you updated with what is actually going on. And most importantly, to let you know how this is going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account. And of course, I always want to point out anything you can possibly take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, programs, stimulus checks, or anything else along these lines. I truly want to help you out any way that I can, as like I said, I understand money is very tight right now, and the small fixed income benefits are getting less and less purchasing power. So again, I'm here for you. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And let's get into it and talk about a 17.4% raise to Social Security, as people are suggesting, based on the announcement out of Social Security for the annual cost of living adjustment, 8.7%. Now, let's be real. The 8.7% cost of living adjustment announced out of Social Security a few weeks ago is actually the fourth largest raise in the history of Social Security, and is the largest raise that we've seen since the early 80s. In fact, 1981 was the last time that we saw a raise anywhere near this, which was 11.2%. 40 years ago. Actually, 42 years ago by the time that we get the raise. That's a long time ago, right? Seriously, that's a really long time ago from the last time we saw any kind of raise like this. So, this is something we certainly need to talk about. However, I've been doing a lot of research on this, as I always do research on literally everything as it pertains to the low income and fixed income beneficiaries. And I've been seeing some new remarks and statements coming out from a variety of people out there suggesting this actually needs to be doubled. In fact, the 8.7% really should be doubled up to 17.4%, which would actually get people on track with what benefits really should be at right now. However, this would still make sure that benefits are well below where they actually need to be. In fact, let me share with you some other statistics out there right now, and this is honestly a little bit shocking and a little bit eye-opening. Check this out. In the last 22 years, since the year 2000, Y2K, remember that one? Yeah, Y2K, what a funny time. Anyway, the study goes on to show that since the year 2000, so the last 22 years, that expenses for fixed income beneficiaries have actually increased by 130%. Meanwhile, guess how much your benefits have increased over the last 22 years? Yeah, you guessed it, only 65%. Do you see the discrepancy here? Do you see the major problem here? Yes, the major problem is this. Benefits have only increased by 65%. Meanwhile, the expenses that fixed income beneficiaries pay for have gone up 130%. So essentially, the benefits need to be raised basically 100% right now to be brought up to where they really need to be just to keep up with all the rapidly rising inflation. So as a result of this, over the last 22 years, here's what's happened. Benefits have not been keeping up with real inflation, real price increases, right? Now, again, I don't need to go down this road a ton because we all understand this. We all know how this system works, right? So what's happening is in the real world, as we all go out and buy things, as in like food, shelter, healthcare, literally everything that the low income and fixed income buy, necessities, things like this, have increased 130% over the last 22 years. However, benefits have only increased 65%, right? So literally benefits would need to be double right now what they actually are, just in order to keep up with where they actually need to be with real living expenses, right? So what these people are suggesting out there right now that I've been reading about is actually saying the first thing that we could do is actually double the annual cost of living adjustment for this year, or which was announced a couple weeks ago, I should say, from Social Security going into 2023, change it from 8.7%, double it to 17.4%. That'd put us on the right track. Now, here's the thing. This is not a one-year fix. This is not something that would be fixed in 1 year, but rather this is something that they would need to do every single year for many years to come, double the COLA, and this would get people back on track to where benefits really should be right now, because they've lost so much purchasing power over the last, 22 years since all this has been going on, and the tracking has been taking place on this. Now check this out as well. Because the COLA is based off the CPIW, Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, versus the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the elderly. This small little change. Now here's the thing. The difference between the CPIW and the CPIE is not much. It's only a few tenths of 1%. But here's the difference. Over long periods of time, a couple tenths of a percent every single year compounded over 22 years is a huge difference, is a huge difference. As you can see right here, it's a difference of benefits increasing by 65%, meanwhile expenses increasing by 130%, a huge difference. So the thing that we have here is compounding and time, which is, again, just like Einstein said, I don't even know what Einstein said, honestly, but basically Einstein said something along the lines of compounding is like the eighth wonder of the world or something like that. Seriously, compounding and time is life-changing for a lot of people. And you can see with these examples right here, this is what's happened over 22 years because of compounding and that small couple tenths of a percent over many years, 22 years, and maybe 0.2% this year, 0.3% next year, maybe 1% or 0.1% the next year, 0.5% the next year. All of that compounded over 22 years has resulted in this, a huge discrepancy between actual living expenses for fixed income beneficiaries and where benefits are really sitting. Now, here's another thing that I want to throw out there as well. We've talked about this many times before in other videos, but I want to throw it out there really fast. The federal poverty line right now is about $1,132 every single month. Let's all raise our hands right now if your benefit is well below $1,132 every single month. Now, here's the thing. If this actually would have kept up with real price increases and real inflation, if benefits really would have been increased at the rate that they should have been over the last 22 years, would all of us be above the federal poverty line? You better believe it. Yeah, these benefits would be well above the federal poverty line, right? But because they haven't kept up with real inflation, with the real price increases over the last 22 years, unfortunately, these benefits have fallen way behind, and it's going to take a lot of effort out of Congress to get these back up to where they really need to be. And the fact of the matter is, they can do it. In fact, there are pieces of legislation in Congress right now to raise these benefits up to the federal poverty line. However, has Congress done it? They have not done it yet. Why? Because there's a huge price tag associated with it. How much? Like $500 billion. That's about what it would cost. According to the research that I've done on this, it would cost about $500 billion to bring all these benefits up to the federal poverty line. It's a lot of money. Does Congress want to spend that right now? Well, apparently not, because they haven't done it, right? So again, just another thing that we need to look at right now with everything going on and how fixed income and the low income, unfortunately, yet again, are getting the short end of the stick. We're sick of it. We're sick and tired of it. I think all of us can probably agree here. We're all in the same boat. We're sick and tired of it, right? Well, this is what's going on here. And these are the studies, and this is the information that's circling around out there right now. And again, this is what some people are saying is we could adjust this, the 8.7% COLA going into 2023, a simple adjustment by doubling it up to 17.4%, which is 8.7 multiplied by 2 is 17.4%. A simple double on these benefits, and doing that for a long period of time into the future, 10, 15, 20 years, would bring these benefits back up to where they really should be. Now again, the other side of the discussion there is also, what about the trust fund? Well, that's a whole nother discussion right there, because yes, the solvency of the trust fund would be depleted even faster in the event that they raised the COLA twice as much. So again, there's a lot of back and forth on this whole thing, but again, there's a lot of drama, but I want to bring it to you and let you know what's actually going on and how all this stuff circling around out there impacts our monthly benefits in a pretty big way. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. I like to do all the digging. I like to find the research. I like to find the articles and the information to let you know what's going on and what people are really discussing out there right now about the fixed income and low income benefits, everything like this. Truly want to help you out in any way that I can. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands and thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, have a nice day. Stay safe out there. Enjoy. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And